Meet William Blackwood, a man whose name echoes power and success in the business world. From the outside, his life looks picture perfect. Lavish parties, luxury cars, and a penthouse that kisses the city skyline. But beneath the surface lies a man haunted by loneliness, burdened by the weight of what he's lost. No amount of money or success can fill the emptiness that's been growing inside him, a void he refuses to confront. One rainy night, as his sleek black Mercedes glides through the storm-soaked streets of New York, William's thoughts are miles away. He turns a corner onto Fifth Avenue, the windshield wipers rhythmically clearing the rain, when something, or someone, catches his eye. At a bus stop, drenched in rain, stands a woman clutching a baby close to her chest. Her hunched posture, her vulnerability. It's enough to make William glance twice. And then his breath catches. It's Lily Carter. 4 years. It's been 4 years since Lily walked out of his life without a word. And now, here she is, looking tired, fragile, and holding a child. A baby. His pulse quickens as questions flood his mind. Who is the baby? Why is she here? And why does something about the child feel so familiar? The stoplight turns green, but William doesn't move. Instead, he pulls over to the curb, stepping out into the pouring rain. Lily, he calls out, his voice carrying both surprise and uncertainty. She stiffens but slowly turns, her wide, wary eyes meeting his. For a moment, the storm around them fades into silence, the years of separation hanging heavy in the air. Then she shifts the baby closer, shielding the infant from the rain. William's voice softens, tinged with concern. What are you doing out here in this weather? You're freezing. His gaze drops to the baby, bundled in a pale blue blanket. The resemblance gnaws at him, but he pushes the thought aside. For now. Lily hesitates, her voice guarded. We're fine, William. We don't need your help. But her shivering and the exhaustion in her eyes betray her words. William isn't convinced, and he isn't about to leave her standing there in the rain. Please, Lily, just let me help. Let me give you a ride, he says, stepping closer. For a long moment, she doesn't move, the conflict in her eyes clear. Finally, with a reluctant nod, she whispers, just to the corner. Inside the warmth of his car, the tension is almost unbearable. William glances at her from the corner of his eye, watching as she cradles the baby protectively, her gaze fixed firmly on the rain-streaked window. He wants to ask her 1,000 questions, but the words catch in his throat. The silence grows heavier until he finally breaks it. Lily, he begins cautiously. Why are you out here like this? You're struggling, aren't you? Her head snaps toward him, eyes flashing. I don't need your pity, William, she snaps. But her anger doesn't hide the truth. William tightens his grip on the steering wheel, his mind racing with questions he can't bring himself to ask. Not yet. When they reach her stop, she opens the door without looking back. Thank you for the ride, she says quietly, stepping out into the rain. And just like that, she disappears into the dimly lit entrance of an old brick building, leaving William alone with his thoughts and the ache of unresolved questions. As the rain beats against the windshield, William sits there for a moment, unable to drive away. Something about that baby, something about Lily, tells him this isn't the end. Not by a long shot. The encounter at the bus stop lingers in William's mind like a storm that won't pass. He can't shake the sight of Lily holding that baby, the faint, nagging familiarity in the child's face. Something doesn't add up, and William Blackwood isn't a man to leave questions unanswered. The next morning, he's at his office, pacing restlessly. His instincts tell him there's more to Lily's story than she let on. His thoughts race back to the life they once shared. Her laughter, her sketches, the way she used to make his penthouse feel like a home. But those memories are clouded by the night she left. A night that ended without closure. Now, with the image of that child haunting him, William knows he can't stay silent. Hours later, he finds her again, sitting in a small cafe. She's by the window, rocking the baby gently in a portable carrier. Her tea sits untouched, her face pale with exhaustion. William's resolve hardens. He steps inside, the bell above the door chiming softly. Lily's head snaps up, and her eyes widen as they meet his. There's no escaping now. "Lily," he says, his voice firm but quieter than he expected. She straightens, her expression guarded. "What are you doing here, William?" she asks, her tone sharp. He doesn't waste time. "You disappeared for years, and now I find you standing in the rain with a child. I deserve to know the truth," he says, his gaze flicking briefly to the baby sleeping beside her. Her grip on the carrier tightens. "We're fine. There's nothing to explain." The word we hits him like a slap. William's jaw clenches, frustration rising. "Is he mine?" he asks, his voice trembling slightly. For a moment, it seems like she might crack, her lips parting as if to answer. But then, just as quickly, her walls go back up. "It doesn't matter," she says coldly, standing up and gathering her things. "Let the past stay in the past." William is stunned, rooted to the spot as she walks away. But he doesn't let it end there. That night, back in his penthouse, the city lights blur against the glass as he stares at the phone in his hand. His frustration and confusion boil over. "Connor," he says to his private investigator, "I need you to find someone for me. Her name is Lily Carter, and I need to know everything." The next day, the truth arrives, bound neatly in a file that feels too heavy to hold. Inside is a birth certificate. Name, Noah Carter. Date of birth, 9 months and 6 days after their breakup. William's breath catches. The baby is his son. A mix of anger and heartbreak floods through him. 4 years. 4 years of birthdays, first steps, first words, all stolen from him. He clenches his fists, the questions now screaming louder than ever. Why didn't she tell him? How could she keep his child a secret? The file in hand, William finds himself at her apartment building, a modest complex far removed from the luxury he's used to. The peeling wallpaper in the hallway feels suffocating as he knocks on her door. When Lily opens it, her face pales. "William," she breathes, clutching the edge of the door. He doesn't wait for an invitation. "We need to talk," he says, stepping inside. The apartment is small but warm. Toys are neatly tucked in one corner, and a tiny crib stands by the window. His gaze immediately shifts to Noah, peacefully asleep. For a moment, all the anger leaves him, replaced by an ache he can't put into words. Lily's voice breaks the silence. "What are you doing here?" she asks, folding her arms protectively. "I know, Lily. I know he's mine," William says, his voice raw. Her breath catches, but she doesn't deny it. "Why didn't you tell me?" he demands, his frustration spilling out. "Why would you keep my son from me?" Tears fill her eyes, but she holds her ground. "You were so focused on your career, William. You barely had time for us. When I found out I was pregnant, I was scared. I thought you'd feel trapped. Or worse, stay out of obligation." William shakes his head, his voice trembling. "You don't get to make that choice for me, Lily. You don't get to take away 4 years of my son's life." Her defenses start to crumble, her voice breaking. "I didn't want him to grow up feeling unwanted. I didn't want you to resent us. I thought I was doing the right thing." "You were wrong," William says softly, his gaze fixed on Noah. His voice cracks as he continues. "I missed his first steps, his first words. I didn't get to be there. Do you have any idea what that feels like?" Tears stream down Lily's cheeks as she whispers, "I thought I was protecting him, and maybe protecting myself too." The room falls silent. the weight of their pain hanging heavy between them. For a moment, it seems like they might find common ground, but the wounds are too fresh, the years of separation too deep. William exhales sharply, stepping back. "I don't know how to fix this," he says quietly, his voice filled with exhaustion. "But I'm not going to let my son grow up without knowing his father." Lily nods, her voice barely a whisper. "I want that too. I just didn't know how to tell you." As he leaves, William knows this isn't the resolution he wanted. The path forward is uncertain, but one thing is clear. He won't let Noah slip through his fingers. Not again. This fight isn't over, it's just beginning. The penthouse feels colder than ever. William sits alone, the city lights flickering outside, but they're just a blur to him. In his hands is a drawing, a child's drawing, simple and colorful, with 3 stick figures. 2 are labeled Mom and Noah. The third space is empty. Beneath it, written in clumsy letters, are the words, "My family." William stares at it, his chest tightening painfully. The weight of 4 years missed, 4 years stolen, presses down on him. He had been angry, angry at Lily, angry at himself. But as he stares at that empty space on the paper, he realizes something. His anger won't fill that space. His pride won't bring him closer to his son. If he wants to be the father Noah deserves, he has to step up. He has to let go of the past and fight for his future. The next morning, William makes his first move. At his lawyer's office, he sets up a trust fund for Noah. "I don't want Lily to know. Not yet," he says, his voice firm. "This isn't about control or guilt. This is about ensuring they're taken care of, no matter what." But deep down, William knows financial support isn't enough. His son doesn't just need security. He needs a father. So William starts showing up. At first, it's awkward. He offers to help with bedtime, fumbling through stories as Noah watches him with curious, wary eyes. He joins Lily at preschool drop-offs, earning cautious smiles from the other parents. And when Noah paints a wobbly rainbow at a school event, insisting it's a dinosaur, William beams with pride and hangs it in his office. Lily watches all of this quietly, her guard still up but starting to crack. She sees the way William kneels on the floor to build block towers with Noah, the way he holds their son when he's sleepy, the way he shows up without excuses. Slowly but surely, her trust begins to rebuild. The real turning point comes at a charity gala weeks later. It's a glittering event filled with New York's elite, but for William, it's more than just another night of schmoozing. As he steps onto the stage to make a speech, he catches Lily's eye across the room. She looks radiant in a deep blue dress, holding Noah, who's dressed in a tiny suit jacket that's far too big for him. "Ladies and gentlemen," William begins, his voice steady but warm. "Tonight is about more than just charity. It's about strength, the kind of strength that isn't found in boardrooms or bank accounts, but in everyday resilience." The room quiets as William continues, his gaze never leaving Lily. "There was a time when I measured success by wealth and power, but I've learned that real success is raising a child alone, sacrificing your dreams to build theirs, and standing tall even when the world underestimates you." The crowd follows his gaze to Lily, and all eyes are on her now. Tears glisten in her eyes, her lips trembling as William goes on. "Lily Carter, you are the strongest person I know. You raised our son with courage I can only admire, and you've taught me more about love and sacrifice than I ever thought possible. I failed you once. I will never fail you or our son again." The room erupts in applause, but for William, there's only Lily. He steps down from the stage, weaving through the crowd until he reaches her. "Did you mean all of that?" she whispers, her voice trembling. "Every word," he replies, his eyes filled with sincerity. For the first time, Lily lets herself believe him. The walls she's built around her heart begin to crumble. It's not a perfect resolution. The scars of the past are still there, but it's a start. As William holds Noah in his arms and Lily leans into his side, they both realize that healing isn't about erasing the pain. It's about building something stronger together. This is the moment that changes everything. A family isn't built in a day, but for William, Lily, and Noah, it's finally beginning to take shape. And for the first time in years, they all feel like they're exactly where they're meant to be. The days that follow are filled with quiet changes and steady growth. William is no longer the man who hides behind his wealth and ambition, and Lily is no longer the woman too scared to let her guard down. They're both learning to trust, to forgive, and to show up for the one thing that truly matters: their son, Noah. For Lily, the turning point comes not with grand gestures, but with William's consistency. He's there for every milestone now, helping Noah build towers with his blocks, sitting through messy finger painting sessions, and tucking him into bed with bedtime stories that make Noah giggle. It's in these small, everyday moments that Lily begins to believe William might actually stay this time. But she's clear with him. One night, as they sit together in the dim light of her modest apartment, she tells him, "William, I forgive you. But this isn't just about us anymore. If you're going to be here, you need to be here for him. No more running, no more disappearing." William nods, his voice soft but firm. "I'm not going anywhere, Lily. I promise you that." Weeks later, the family is spending a crisp autumn afternoon at the park. The golden leaves crunch underfoot as they follow Noah, who's waddling unsteadily through the grass. He's determined, his tiny legs carrying him further and further away until, suddenly, he takes his first real step. And then another. Lily gasps, her hands flying to her mouth as she watches their son take his first steps. "William, look, he's walking," she cries, tears of joy streaming down her face. William rushes to Noah, scooping him up with a laugh, his heart swelling with pride. As the sun begins to set, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, William turns to Lily. His expression is serious, but his eyes are filled with warmth. "I have something for you," he says, pulling an envelope from his coat pocket. "What's this?" Lily asks, her brow furrowing in curiosity. "Open it," he says, his voice soft. Lily unfolds the papers inside and gasps. It's the official paperwork for a trust fund, restructured and renamed the Noah Blackwood Family Foundation. Her hands tremble as she reads the words, the significance of it sinking in. "William, this is for us? For our family," he says, stepping closer. "So that Noah always knows what it means to be loved and supported. So that we always have a foundation to stand on. Together." Lily's eyes fill with tears, but before she can respond, William kneels down in front of her. He takes her hands in his voice trembling with sincerity. "Lily, I've spent so much time chasing things that didn't matter, but now I know what does. You, Noah, United States. I don't want to spend another day without you by my side. Will you marry me? For real this time? Not because of the past, but because of the future we can build together?" Lily's tears spill over as she nods, her voice breaking. "Yes, William, yes." William slips a simple, elegant ring onto her finger and pulls her into a warm embrace. In that moment, it feels like the world has finally aligned. The pain of the past is still there, but it no longer defines them. They're building something new, something stronger. Months later, their journey comes full circle as they celebrate their intimate wedding. The ceremony is simple, held in a garden surrounded by close friends and family. Noah toddles around, clutching a bouquet of flowers almost as big as he is, bringing laughter to everyone. As Lily and William exchange vows, their eyes never leave each other's, the love and trust they've rebuilt shining through. Later, as they sit together under the stars, William holds Lily close, his voice low but full of promise. "We've come a long way, haven't we?" Lily smiles, resting her head on his shoulder. We have, and I wouldn't change a thing. And as Noah giggles in his sleep nearby, the three of them, now a family in every sense of the word, begin a new chapter, proving that love, forgiveness, and persistence can mend even the deepest wounds. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring and emotional stories. Share it with someone who believes in second chances, and stay tuned for more unforgettable tales.